Hello and welcome to Circuit of Le Mans. We are with GoRacing Sim League tonight. We're going to have a 2 hour team endurance race where each car will have two drivers. And this is all something very, very new to GoRacing Sim. It's a trial basis for a 6 race series. A lot of participation is expected right now. I believe we have 10 cars for tonight's race. So we'll have 20 drivers. We're moments away from having a 10-minute qualifying session. And from there, we'll go to our 2 hour race. Fastest in practice is 1010's Motorsports. And that's Chris Miller. And I think, if I remember correctly, Alexander is his teammate. So we'll see where he is. And they're getting ready to go to qualifying here. We're just before 6 o'clock right now here at Le Mans. It's a race that's going to go, the time of day is going to go 4 times at speed. So it'll switch from a night race to a day race and probably back to a night race again. As cars are heading out for qualifying right now. Le Mans is let's pull up the information here. We have 8 points, almost 8.5 mile long racetrack. It has 38 turns. So long racetrack. The ranges and times are about 3.5 minutes per lap. So it takes quite a while to get around this facility here. Got Louis Lockshine right there, warming up his tires and throwing some sparks. Lewis driving the number 72 car for W&R Racing. He'll be teamed up with Derek Wynn. Here's Rob Shoemaker. Chris Hunt, the number 13 car for Point Break Racing. I believe he's teamed up with Greg Sampson, I believe. Angel Trinidad, somebody new to GoRacing Sim. He's tied in tonight with Tyler Hamlin. Tyler Hamlin would be the other driver. Austin Ward back with us at GoRacing Sim driving the car 17. He's teammated with Bryant Ward. There's Angel again. Ed Adams driving for IGB and Glorious Bastards. It's teamed up together tonight with Doug Doucette. That is the number 7 car. There's Shoemaker again. He's teamed up with Kevin Rupert. They're driving the 33 car tonight. Logan Mitchell. Logan been a great competitor GoRacing Sim the last couple seasons and a guy who's really helped with getting some extra prize money tied into these guys, and we appreciate that, Logan. He's teamed up tonight with Michael Johnson, driving the 110 car. Kurt Davidson. He's run on and off with us here at GoRacing Sim, tied in tonight with Shane Papala. They're driving the 89 car tonight. Kurt, a good, consistent driver. Gary Cantera. Gary driving for L1T1 in car 333. And he's teamed up with, where are you, Kerry? Gotta find you here. He's tied up tonight with Frank Johnson. Rusty Johnson is, I believe, teamed up with him. Like I said, we got a 10-minute qualifying session. They're almost halfway done. They're just about almost 5 minutes in, just 10 seconds shy, being 5 minutes in. Right now, quick time is L1T1 in the 333 car. Oh, no official qualifying laps have been done yet, so they may only get one, maybe 2 laps in. So with 10 minutes, it's kind of hard with a track that takes 3 minutes to run. They may only get 1 lap at this. There's our competitors for tonight. Team Dominic Ford did not make the haul over to Le Mans tonight. I'm sure they'll be there for some of the other races as our season goes on. Right now it's clear outside with temperature at 64 degrees. Track's at 66 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour west wind tonight. Each team will have 24 incident points before they'll have to do a drive-through. So when they accumulate 24, they'll have to do a drive-through, and then every time after, I believe every 2, they got to come back in again. So we'll see how that plays out and see how that changes the effects of the race as we go on tonight. We got some times coming in. We got 10 tenths racing right now leading at 3:35:03. W&R Racing not too far behind, just over a half a second, and Ward Racing shortly after that. So those 3 teams pretty darn close. They're within a second. Got about a minute and a half left to qualifying. As we're watching Kerry Cantera circle the track right now. He's in position 4 in qualifying right now. It's a big racetrack and very hard to learn. Talking to the other drivers out there, and a lot of these guys have put a lot of hours in the last couple days familiarizing themselves with this racetrack. Let's take a look at the result board here and see how we're doing. We've only had 5 cars taking an official lap. If you get an X in qualifying, your lap will not count, so you got to have a clean lap in order for it to count. 2-hour race, long time with 2 drivers. If you do run the full distance, one driver has to complete, the least driver has to complete at least 45 minutes. So it doesn't have to be a perfect split down the road, it just has to be somewhat close. We're past the 10 minutes, so cars will finish up their lap and then we'll get started on our 2-hour endurance team event. We still have 10 tenths motorsports with Chris Miller and Alexander Bedesh behind the wheel there. Chris Payne is joining them tonight as a spotter. Kerry flying through the corners here. Notice tonight, Angel Trinidad has had a few issues with the connection, so hopefully that doesn't play a factor in their race tonight. Cars are just finishing up here. Check the result board again here quick, and looks like GoRacing 1 was able to put a lap down 6th in time. So 10 tenths Motorsports with Chris Miller, they won fast time tonight. As of right now, W&R Racing, Ward Racing, it's 3rd. L1T1, that was with Kerry. IGB, that's with Ed Adams. GoRacing 1, I'm not sure if that was Kurt or Shane who actually, I believe it was Kurt who was actually driving for qualifying tonight. Beautiful race course here with nice lighted pagoda up there. The Michelin up by the flag stand there. Very nice. Take a little scenic view around the racetrack here. While cars are getting prepared for the race, we'll bring up the schedule. And there's our schedule for this season. We are at Le Mans tonight. We go to Suzuka November 16th. That's next Thursday. Right after that, Circuit of the Americas down in Texas. December 7th, we go to Spa. The Nürburgring, December 14th. And then the always fun Virginia International Raceway. Very difficult racetrack to end our season on December 21st.
All right, well, it's not doing what I thought it would do. For some reason, it keeps going back to 6 o'clock. So instead of going from day to night, it looks like we're going to night to day. So apologies, I'm not sure why it's doing that. That's not what it said it would do. A couple of things real quick. Remember, we have 24X. After that, you have to do a passive penalty. We have one fast repair. And we have a requirement that every driver has to race a minimum of 45 minutes. So that might mean we may have to make a pit stop, even though we don't need to, just to change drivers. It is the rule, so we'll have to follow it. But I just want to make sure everybody's aware. You got to run 45 minutes. That's the rule we established before we started this thing, so we'll stick with it.
There you just heard from Kevin Rupert.
And the 45 minutes can be in any time. You can break it up if you want, or you can do it in this 10. It doesn't matter. Anybody have any last second questions?
As we're waiting for cars as a grid, Kevin's giving final directions to all the teams.
All right. Good luck, then, everybody. Good job. Front two.
Got Chris Miller starting tonight with Lewis on his left side. There's our friendly pace car. Kerry Cantera. Next to him, the 333. Kerry's in the 333, I'm sorry. Bryant Ward in the number 17 car. Shane's going to start him off tonight in GoRacing 1. Ed Adams going to start off in the number 7 car for IGB in Glorious Bastards. The 5 car, Tyler Hamlin. He's starting off tonight for W&R Academy. Chris Hunt for Point Break Racing, car 13. Kevin Rupert, GoRacing number 2 car in the 33. And Michael Johnson in the 110 car. That's part-time speed. So we'll get up to the front here. Focus on the leaders, and I think we're going to go right to the most exciting here. So here we go. 2 hours. The clock has actually started. At least my clock has. Here we go. First time GoRacing Sim has done an endurance race. Something new for the guys. If you enjoy, please let us know. If you want to come join us, please do. Join the league. Check out our website, GoRacingSim.com. That's GoRacingSim.com. We have an Oval League that's still going on for a couple of weeks yet on Tuesday nights. We'll have some fun races on Wednesday nights with some off-road racing and dirt track racing on Wednesday nights for a couple of weeks. Thursday nights we're going to have the endurance racing, and then actually once the 24 Hours of Daytona starts up, we go to another complete season of GT3 racing on Thursday nights. Cars coming down the start-finish line here. Chris Miller, Lewis Lockshine in the front row, and the green is out. And they're off. Little bit of contact almost made there. The second row between Bryant Ward, Kerry Cantera. Everyone through one, nice. 38 corner. There's some oh, we got cars hitting each other. Let's go back and see who that was. Ed Adams is spun around. Looks like Shane's involved. Looks like all cars are still up and running. We'll see if anyone's got some damage. Looks like Chris Miller is leading right now with Lewis right on his tail. Kerry running third. Bryant Ward for Ward Racing, car 17. He's running fourth right now. As they're going down the Mulsanne Straight right now. They'll have a little chicane right here. Another straightaway over to the Mulsanne corner. Got Chris Miller still leading right now. Lewis still right on his tail here. As they head into corner 18 and 19 and 20 right here. Corner Anage is what it's called. That's corner 20 right there where these guys are going through. Nice battle for third position. Between Bryant Ward and Kerry. Kerry, relatively new to the league, joined us this past season. Fast car, always fast. Bryant Ward took some time off from GoRacing Sim. Glad to see Bryant and Austin back for our endurance racing. Kevin Rupert in the 33 car. Great battle right now. Michael Johnson. Chris Hunt. Man, they're right together. Good racing between those three guys. Doesn't look like no one had any major damage. Everyone's still on the racetrack. No one had to make a pit stop because of damage after that first lap skirmish. Chris Hunt pulling away from Kevin. Good battle between Michael Johnson and Kevin here. Kevin just running his line. Michael Johnson giving him chase. Making it close though. Side by side. Still side by side going down the lawn straightaway here. Now have a little chicane here. Corner number 11. Michael Johnson takes a spot away from Kevin. Shane Papala, he's catching up to Kevin here. So no major damage for Shane. Tyler Hamlin and WNR Academy. Oh, I'm sorry, it does look like Ed Adams had to go into the pits and make some repairs. He's quite a ways behind right now, but they got time. Miller's still leading with Lewis falling a little bit behind. Not too bad yet. Still within reach. Chris Miller getting a little high there. Makes the corner though without tapping that wall. We're 10, almost 11 minutes in to the 2-hour run. Let's go inside one of these cars and see what it's like. We'll fall inside of Lewis here. Oop. And you'll see what it's like to race one of these LMP2 cars. Cockpit view. Here we go. We're inside with Lewis Lockshine. Driving for W&R Racing. Through the S's. Coming down, completing another lap. Great precision driving by Lewis as he's trying to catch up some time here to Chris. Lewis is a great road racer, won the championship in the GT3 the last 2 seasons for GoRacing Sim. Very consistent driver. Very few times he has issues with crashes, but it does happen to him occasionally. Very fast, very consistent. Has joined us a few times on our podcast. He's driving right to the point because he's really driving hard. Here's Chris Miller. We're riding with Chris right now. He's leading. Here you're with our leader. 10 Tenths Motorsports. On straightaway, going into a chicane here. Using up pretty much all the track limits there. Here's Kerry Canteri. He's running third right now in a 333 car for L1T1. Seven o'clock right now in the morning. You're going to start seeing it getting a little lighter as we go along here. And very sharp right-hander there. That's corner 14 and 15 there. Here's Bryant Ward. Quite a gap between him and Kerry right now. Bryant running fourth. Michael Johnson up to P6 right now. He's driving for part-time speed. Kevin Rupert, he's running seventh. GoRacing number 2 car. Quick left-hander. Back on the throttle hard. There's Shane right behind Kevin right now. This is the battle for seventh. GoRacing 1 is Kevin and Kurt David, Shane and Kurt Davidson this season. Kevin a little quicker through this section than what Shane is. Here we are with Tyler Hamlin. Tyler running ninth right now. Car number 5 for W&R Academy. Teamed up with Angel, Trinidad. Coming down here, completing another lap here at Le Mans. Using the rumble strips. Under the Dunlap Bridge. We'll go to Chris Hunt. Chris Hunt, the number 13 car for Point Break Racing. Not that far behind Tyler. Chris has been around GoRacing Sim for a couple seasons with us now, and glad to have him aboard. Glad he's doing endurance racing with us. Ed Adams, he's struggling right now in 10th place, but long race. Ed's a good driver. He's been with us for a long time. I've raced against Ed for many a years in other leagues and all that, so. Hard on the rumble strips and getting through the corners here. There's the Dunlap Bridge. And we'll go back to the leaders here and see how we're doing. We still got Chris Miller still up in the lead. Right now we're not seeing Lewis too close to him. There's a pretty good gap there between the two guys. Almost 4-second lead there for Chris Miller over Lewis. as they come through the curvy part of the racetrack here. As they're getting close to finishing up lap 4, starting lap 5 here real soon. 18 minutes into the race. Got a car down pit road, I believe. That's Lewis Lockshine. Lewis in the pits. We'll see if they make a driver change. Early strategy being played here by W&R Racing. I would think it's just going to be fuel, and we'll get him on the road again here. We'll see. Car's up in the air, so he's getting some rubber. Lewis is staying in the car. He will go out and probably run a full stint here. Tire change is done. Fuel is done. Lewis back out on the racetrack here. Nice pit stop there for W&R Racing. Lewis gets right back on the racetrack here, and he is right in front of Chris Hunt the way it looks. Don't see any of the cars doing early strategy like Lewis just did. So that'll change up the top couple positions here in the race early on here. Lewis going through corners 12 and 13 through that chicane there. Let's check in with Bryant Ward and see how he's doing. Being scored right now is 4th, but it will be 3rd once he crosses the start and finish line. Kerry's not too far in front of him, but still got a pretty good gap right there. Using up all the racetrack there. As you can see, it's starting to get light. We're at 7:43 in the morning. 22 minutes into the race. It's set at 4 times the speed, so for every hour of real time is 4 hours of sim racing time. Whoa, Bryant Ward off track right now over corner 32 and 33 there. Back on racetrack there. Sketchy time for him there. Don't believe he damaged the vehicle too bad. Maybe a little bit of front end nose damage there. Pushing just a little too hard and missed the corner just a real little bit. Michael Johnson up to fourth place. They started dead last, so Michael doing a great job, and Michael driving really hard through there. Nice save by Michael there. Shane Papala up to fifth after that first lap struggle there with Ed Adams and others. Shane's last lap was 3 minutes 41.375 seconds. They're running fifth right now. Him and Kurt Davidson teaming together in the car 89 for GoRacing 1. Lewis up to sixth right now after making that strategy pit stop. Lewis teammates with Derek Wynn. WNR Racing in the 72 car. Kevin Rupert running seventh right now, teammated with Rob Shoemaker. GoRacing number 2 in the car 33. Followed closely by Chris Hunt, Point Break Racing. Good battle between these two gentlemen. Not too far behind, Tyler Hamlin, W&R Academy. Team car to W&R Racing. Car number 5. Tyler teamed up with Angel Trinidad. Ed Adams, still running 10th place yet right now. Had that first lap struggle there. Got in a tangle with a couple cars. Had to make a quick pit stop. Good lap time though of 3:36. So he's got good lap time. So apparently not got all the damage fixed to make those lap times. Hopefully him and Doug can right the ship here and come up with a good finish towards the end here. Chris Miller just got done completing lap 6. We're working on lap 7 right now. Looks like he's got himself about a 15-second lead over second place car. 3:34.8 was his lap time for lap number 6, so flying around this racetrack. Gary Cantera, 3:35.3, still that's a really good lap. Just over a second off the pace of Chris Miller. Again, this race is brought to you by GoRacing Sim Racing League. Race on Tuesday nights in the Oval Series, which this year we still continue in our Indy League, where it's not just oval. We race in a couple of road courses. Got some good racing to finish up our season. I believe we got 3 weeks left of that season yet. Wednesday nights we're doing some off-road dirt racing and some dirt track oval racing on Wednesday nights. Thursday nights we're doing our endurance race for this race and 5 more, and then we'll take a short break. Everyone's going to prepare themselves for the 24 hours of Daytona, and then right after that we're going to start off with another great year of GT3 racing. Break it up into 3 seasons of 12 weeks in each season. We do an IMSA schedule inside of the regular season where we run all the IMSA races. Last year, I believe we had 11 IMSA races. The champion on those 11 races was Richie Coy. Our season 3 champion for the regular season was Lewis Lockshine. And Lewis also won season number 2. There's Chris Miller again. 3:34.8 was his lap for number 6. He's closing in on lap number 7 here. We'll see if he a little quicker this lap or not. He's finishing up the lap. Nice and smooth through those corners. All the way out to track limits. 3:34.5, so 0.3 of a second, so very consistent times for Chris Miller. Carey at 3:35.3 this last lap. He's coming down to start finish. We'll see what his lap is. 3:34.8, so a slight improvement there that lap, about a half a second for Carey there on that lap. Bryant Ward went from a 3:40 to a 3:36.9, so about a 3-second gain on that lap for Bryant Ward. Lewis had a 3:35.5 the last lap. 3:36, so a little slower that lap. Michael Johnson went from a 3:40 to a 3:50, so he must have really struggled somewhere along that racetrack. Chris Hunt, Point Break is at a 3:38 right now. Shane's giving chase on him right now, has a 3:48, so Shane had a rough lap on lap number 7. Kevin Rupert actually not too far behind Shane right now. He had a nice lap at 3:40. We'll see how consistent their laps have been. Kevin's fastest lap was a 3:39. The rest of them have been pretty much in the, other than lap 5 where he really struggled there. Not bad in the 3:40s, 3:41s. Pretty consistent there for Shane, with the exception of lap number 7. Chris Hunt just turned his fastest lap of 3:38.2. Lap 3 was a big problem for Chris, where he had a 4-minute lap. Michael Johnson making great progress through the field here, up to 5th place after starting at the tail of the race. His fastest lap was a 3:39. His last lap, 10 seconds off pace, but looks like he's up to speed and all that, so no damage done the way it looks. Lewis's lap times here, he had a 3:35 on lap number 2. The 4:16 is that's what he had during his pit stop, and then lap 4 he had a 4:42, so he must have struggled there. His lap times have been real nice, so let's take a look at Bryant Ward here and his lap times. He's down to a 3:36.9, so that was a good lap. I think we talked about that. Other than that, he's been in 3:39s, 3:40s, so good laps there. Kerry Cantera. 3:34.8. That was a great lap on lap number 7. There are lap times for our leader tonight. 3:34 is 3:35 is pretty much all the way through so far. Chris Miller showing why he has won a lot of races here at GoRacing Sim. Right now has a very comfortable 19-second lead over Kerry. As we are 33 minutes into this race. 34 minutes into this race right now. Chris is going down the Mulsanne Straight right now. We'll pick up Shane here. Be interesting to see how the teammates do to these cars. It's going to be fun watching pit strategy, as I believe Ed Adams is coming down pit road right now, making a pit stop 35 minutes into the race. We'll see what's happening with Ed here, if he's coming in for a driver change, tires or fuel or everything or none of them, or I'm sure he's coming in for fuel for sure. Let's keep an eye out here for Inglorious Bastard Race Team. There we got tire change going on for sure. And fuel, so Ed looks like Ed's going to stay in the car. It's going to be fun for that rear tire changer to change that tire. Them cars, the tires are rolling around that fast. Ed revving it up, getting it ready to go, and he's off, ready to go. And Ed back on the racetrack. We'll see if any other pit stops are happening pretty soon here. We'll keep an eye out open for that. So it looks like Chris Miller is going to keep going. Got a pretty good battle going on between Michael Johnson all the way back to Kevin Rupert. Those 4 cars are pretty darn close. They're not that far away from each other. Kerry Cantura continues on. So does the 17 car, Bryant Ward. '72 car of Lewis Lockshine. Of course, he's going to stay out on the racetrack. He pitted already very early into the race, 15 minutes in. Michael Johnson ducking down pit road. See what part-time speeds we're going to be doing here in this pit stop. Giving up his 5th place running position at this time. Coming down pit road. Another car behind him coming in. That's Shane Papawa, GoRacing 1. Michael Johnson down pit road. He stopped. Missed his spot. He's got to drive forward a little bit. No tires there for Michael, just fuel. Tyler Hamlin coming down pit road. Shane's getting some tires. He's getting fuel. Tyler Hamlin. We're going with a driver change. Angel's going to get into the car here as they're doing tire changes. Shane's done with his tire change. There goes Michael Johnson back onto the racetrack with Shane following him. As we'll wait for Angel to get going here again. Angel taking over for Tyler Hamlin, W&R Academy. Not sure what the holdup is here. He should be ready to go. It sounds like the car is actually shut off. Let's get in the cockpit. That car is quiet right now. Not sure what's going on with Angel and W&R Academy. Kerry Cantera coming down pit road right now. So is Chris Miller. Chris Miller down pit road right now, grabbing the number 1 pit stop there. Up goes the car. Tire change is being done. Driver change is going to happen here. Alexander is going to get in the car. 40 minutes in. Did not quite make the required 45, so there's going to be one more driver change yet. Kerry Cantera, his car goes up in the air. Tire change is being done there. Kerry staying inside the car right now. Alexander's back on the racetrack. Bryant Ward in the racetrack for Ward Racing. His car is up in the air. He's getting tire change right now and fuel, but he's staying in the car also. Kerry's getting ready to head out. Kerry's gone. We'll stay with Bryant Ward. He's staying inside the car. And he's heading out to the racetrack right now. Chris Hunt right now in the pit stop. Not exactly sure if he changed tires or not. I believe Kevin Rupert's in pits right now. Chris is staying in the car. Kevin Rupert's in GoRacing 2 in a 33 car. He's getting tires right now and fuel. 42 minutes into the race. We'll go back to Chris here. And Chris is back out. Kevin's car back down on the ground, getting fuel. And Kevin back out, heading back out on the racetrack there. So pretty sure almost all the cars have made a pit stop now. Maybe a car or two have not quite done it yet. So we'll check our leaderboard here real quick. It looks like Lewis Lockshine might be in the lead right now. We'll take a peek here in a few seconds here. Gotta go check with timing and scoring. See what they got for us here. Good battle right now between Michael Johnson and Chris Hunt. That's for 7th spot. Lewis, lap 10 time was 3:35. He's closing in on our lap completed here. See if that early race strategy of making that early pit stop makes a difference here. Rose through the tricky section there, and they are scored as our leader right now. So we've seen Lewis Lockshine jump into the lead here at the 45th minute of tonight's 2-hour endurance race. Chris Miller running second. Excuse me, Alexander. Alexander in the car right now. With the driver change, that's why you've seen the position change, because it takes a little longer in the pit stop when you get the driver change and all that. So we'll get those tires warmed up there for Alexander, and he'll be up to operating speeds real quick. Gary Cantera, he's running third. Pretty good gap between him and Alexander. And Bryant Ward underneath the Dunlap Bridge right there. He's giving chase to Carey right now. Bryant Ward, he's being scored as 4th place right now. So, good run for Bryant. There's our beautiful pace car again, Michael Johnson. Michael started tail on the field up to 5th place. Last lap was a 3:39.5. Driving hard through this chicane section there. Chris Hunt driving real hard. He's running 6th right now for Point Break Racing. Kevin Rupert up to 7th. Got a feeling at the 1-hour break you're going to see a lot of pit stops again, and you're going to see driver changes for the guys who have not done the driver change yet. There's Shane Papala, GoRacing one. Congratulations goes out to Shane. He works for the Stuart Haas team. He does Xfinity races and was a member of the Xfinity Championship team of Cole Custer, where Shane has changed front tires with them the last couple months. So congratulations goes out to Shane on your Xfinity Championship. We're proud of you, buddy. Good job. Ed Adams, he's up to 9th. Ed Adams turning a 3:37.9. with the Inglorious Bastard. Go Fast. Hunter 7 Go Fast League. Not familiar what that is. Angel Trinidad on racetrack right now for our W&R Academy. That's teammates to Tyler Hamlin. Pretty good gap between him and Ed Adams right now. I know Angel had an extended pit stop there. Not sure if they had a lot of damage to repair, or if they had a speeding penalty or something that hurt those guys. Lewis Lockshine still our leader. We'll get an interval gap of about 15 seconds over Chris Miller right now. Lewis with a 3:34.8. Excuse me, Alexander is not. It's not Chris Miller. It's Alexander in the car at 3:39.7. So a little bit slower than what Chris was running in the car. Kerry Cantor with a 3:36. Nice lap, the last lap around. Bryant Ward with 3:38. That gap's been pretty much maintained for quite a while, but then we got a huge gap between here and Michael Johnson. Not too far away is Chris Hunt. It's been a pretty good battle the last couple laps. They're very equally speed-wise on that racetrack, where Chris took that corner a little bit wide there. We'll look at some incidents here. Shane's got 11 incidents so far, so they're safe yet. They get 24 incidents before they got to start worrying about a drive-through penalty. Michael Johnson with 2 incidents. Kerry Cantera 1 incident. Alexander has don't believe he has any. Trying to remember if I'm reading this right. Bryant Ward has 2 incidents. Chris Sutton with 3. Ed Adams with 2. Angel, I believe, has 4 incidents out of the 11. Yes. He would have 4 incidents out of the 11. Tyler has 7. Another lap completed for Lewis. That gap between Michael Johnson and Chris Hunt, very stable right now. Bryant Ward running 4th. So we're 52 minutes in, and we got a pit stop coming in here. Got Bryant Ward in the pits. He's going to possibly hand over the driving chores over to Austin Ward. We'll see what they do here, if it's tires or just a driver change, and we'll see what strategy the Ward Racing team has here for us on lap 14 of tonight's 2-hour endurance race. So we're closing in on the halfway point. Bryant out of the car. Austin has jumped in. No tires have been changed. So a driver change in fuel. Austin Ward, a multi-time winner here at GoRacing Sim in earlier seasons, as Austin's out heading back on the racetrack. Has an overtake there, almost by Kevin Rupert. Kevin getting out of the corner really nice there. Both beautiful race cars out on that racetrack, LMP2s. Great battle between those two guys as Austin came back out in the pits. Austin looking at the inside there. Kevin showing some good straightaway speed there as they go into a right-hander. Austin still having to get some heat in those tires yet before he can drive those corners a little harder. As Lewis Lockshine's coming down, closing in and finishing up another lap here at 55 minutes in. Great battle between these two guys. Looks like we might have Lewis inside the pits right now. Lewis coming down pit road right now. He's probably going to give way to Derek Wynn at the 56-minute mark. Here's our leader. Leader coming in. Tires are being changed. Lewis getting out of the car. Derek Wynn has jumped into the driver's seat. That'll give the lead back to Alexander right now. Car back down in the ground for Derek as they're finishing up this pit stop, and Derek Wynn heading out on the racetrack. He'll be coming out in third position right now. So Lewis's stint as of this time is done. Nice run for Lewis. Starting in second. Leading to the halfway point. It looks like Michael Johnson might be coming in the pits right now. No, not yet. Michael having a rough lap of 3:53, so off the pace on that lap. He might have had a little bit of problem in the last lap. Austin Ward did get by Kevin Rupert here. That is for sixth and seventh position right there. He'll be given away to Rob Shoemaker here shortly. I would think this lap you're going to start seeing lots of driver changes. Angel's in the pit area again. He's getting tires put on. He's staying inside the car. Getting some fuel, getting some tires. Car back down to the ground. So right now that puts Alexander in the lead right now. As he's coming down and just completed lap 15 on the 16 here. As he goes into the first corner. The 10 tenths Motorsport. The 007 car. Second place, Kerry Cantera. He's going to be giving up his driver chore pretty soon here. They'll be making a pit stop here shortly. 1 hour. We are halfway into this race. Angel's back on the racetrack. As Derek has some heat in his tires and can start hitting the racetrack a little harder here. Takes a little bit of time to get some heat in the tires to get going. Chris Hunt. He's running fourth place, so a nice run for Chris Hunt. Coming through the field nicely. And Michael Johnson, he's running fifth right now. He's been pretty solid in the top five almost most of the race after starting that tail. Austin Ward. They're running sixth right now. They'll be jumping a few spots here because we have some cars in front of them that got to run some pit stops here yet. Kevin Rupert, he's going to be giving it up to Rob Shoemaker here shortly. As they go through corner 9 right now. Ed Adams. Done a very nice job after that first lap skirmish. Shane's back to 9th right now. Shane's struggling just a little bit. He'll be giving up to Kurt Davidson here real soon. Alexander has about a 12-second lead right now over our second place car. Alexander ran in the last lap at 340, even. So a little bit off the pace of where Chris was, but still good laps. But that gap is closing between him and the second place car right now. Kerry goes off the racetrack there. That's going to hurt him a little bit. Gets her into the kitty litter a little bit. Losing lots of time right there. Let's go back and see what happened there. We'll back this thing up and right there he looks really good right through there. Just cooks it in a little too hard through that chicane area there and spun himself out. Rough break there for Kerry. Still maintaining second spot, but lost a lot of valuable time in the racetrack. Angel a lap down to the leaders here, as Derek Gwynn is giving chase and trying to put Angel a lap down. Last lap for Derek Gwynn, 3:37. Chris Hunt in fourth. We got cars in the pits right now. Looks like Michael Johnson might be in. Logan Mitchell, he's hopping in the car right now for part-time speed. So driver change, tire change, fuel. Nice run there from Michael Johnson. Got a couple other cars coming down pit road here. You got Ed Adams, he's going to change driver seats. He's probably going to be putting Doug Doucette in the car. Looks like Shane's coming in, putting Kurt Davidson in the car as Logan Mitchell heads out on the racetrack again. Doug's in the car right now for our Inglorious Bastards in the number 7. Kurt Davidson in the car right now for GoRacing number 1 in the 89 car. Tire changes are done for Kurt as Douglas heads back out to the racetrack. And there goes Kurt, heading out on the racetrack also. As Alexander is still leading the race. At 17 laps in. Hour and 6 minutes has elapsed in this race, so we're past the halfway point. Alex looking very smooth right now. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning here at Le Mans. Kerry Cantera still on racetrack yet. He hasn't changed. He's still running second. Nice lap at 3:38 there. Recovering nicely after the last lap of being off the racetrack. Derek Gwynn with a 3:37. So does Angel at 3:37. So good laps for Angel. Really
Mr.
hot.
Schulz, you got Mr. Adams in the room.
Hey, Ed Adams, how did your stint go out there? Looks like you had a little bit of problems on lap number 1, but then you recovered and then came back and worked a little bit your way through the field there. What happened on lap number 1?
You know, I figured it out. I didn't put the Tide paint on the car.
Oh, okay. Didn't keep it clean, huh?
Didn't keep it clean.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you know, like a rookie, man. I told Doug, I said, I'm gonna take it easy on that first lap, and then we got all up into the first section there, and and I applied brake pressure when I didn't want to apply brake pressure, and cold and rear bias the way it was. I just made a big mistake and threw the ass end around.
Okay, so no one hit you. You just basically all on your own, and then did you accumulate other cars, or was it just basically yourself?
I'm pretty sure I caused it, and it was on me. And I knew the way the car was going to spin, it was going to put it nose first in the oncoming traffic. And I seen some body parts. So I don't know where and what the collateral damage was, but I know we got stacked up when that happened, and I'm sure everybody scattered real quick. So my apologies to everybody else on that lap one deal.
All
Gladly, I don't
right.
do that too often.
Yeah, I see Doug Doucette's in the car right now. How many hours of practice have you guys had in this car on this track the last couple days?
Oh, last couple of days, it really hasn't been too much, but the last couple of years, oh Jesus, man, we're talking thousands of miles.
So you've had some hours on this racetrack already, then.
Oh yeah, we've done I think every Le Mans race possible. When iRacing kicked it out, we went to the Majors 24 series and started competing in their 24-hour Le Mans. So we've been doing that as a team the last 3 years, which has been amazing.
Mm-hmm. Ed, how did your GT3 season go with us with GoRacing Sim this past season?
It went really well. I recognized early in the season that I probably was not going to have the speed to compete for outright wins, so I was just kind of focusing on trying to get the clean driver fight for the clean driver award, and almost got there. But the talent here in Go Racing is just it's next level. We've done a lot of racing together in the past, and all kinds of scenarios. And when it comes to road racing, the drivers here in this league will make you faster, just hands down. They're some of the best I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. Yeah, we have some great talent out there, and I see with our endurance racing, the Ward family has come back, and which is good to see faces come back to our league again. And you have a second car teammate out there or something? Another car out there that you?
No, just Doug and I are running this. Sandwich is working right now, burning the midnight oil per se to get his stuff up together. So we might get another car with him and Joe shortly. But right now it's just Doug and I holding the flag.
Okay, real good. Well, I wish you guys the best of coming back, and you're more than welcome to stay here with me and all that, and join me for a little while. I greatly appreciate you coming down to the media center with me here. And right now we're looking at Doug's car out here as he's circling the racetrack here, and looks like the car is pretty clean right now. It doesn't look like we have any damage to look at there. So.
Yeah, I think we got pretty lucky with my mistake. We had 8 seconds of right front damage,
Okay.
so no quick repair or anything. And the car, as soon as we got that 8 seconds, the car felt normal again. She's putting down pretty good times.
Yeah, I've seen you running in the high 330s there, which is good laps around this place. It's a long racetrack at 8.5 miles long, so.
Yeah, I want to give you guys a high five for coming up with this series. I think it's pretty cool to do in the off season with the team aspect, and hey, man, it's going to be really good training for the endurance races coming.
Right now we have a driver change. We got Rusty Johnson on in the car right now, taking over for Kerry Cantera as Rusty just heads back out on the racetrack here. So
Some
that'll.
pretty stout teams together.
Oh yes, there is. Kerry a good driver, but Rusty, also very very fast all the time. And I see Alex is leading this thing right now. But right now, the 72 car, Derek Gwynn, is slowly closing in on that a little bit. So we'll see how this plays out as we go along here. As we're lap 19 in right now, and at about an hour and 12 minutes along into this race, so about a little shy of 50 minutes left to go.
Yeah, and I noticed out there during the stint is the track is changing so quick that the cars are, I wouldn't say struggling, but you really got to stay on top of the track change.
You think with the 4 times speed on the time there, that's making the track change that much quicker that it's hard to keep up with it?
Well, it seems to be gaining, a couple degrees almost every lap as it goes through this transition, and then it's going to fall the other way pretty rapidly. So, yeah, I just noticed that when the car was within about 5 or 4 laps to go with fuel, and, it was definitely starting to get on top of the track. And that's just the way it felt. It felt like the car was just having a little more hard time keeping up with the conditions changing the
Yeah,
way they are.
the track has warmed up about 8 degrees since the start of the race today, so it has definitely warmed up a little bit. Was it transition from night to day? Was that a lot of fun?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It was quick, but it was very nice.
Just kind of taking
Luckily,
a.
that sun that blinds you, it only lasted for about a lap.
Yeah, I can understand that. Greg Sampson's in the car for Point Break Racing right now, taking over for Chris Hunt.
Glad to
So,
see them back in the car.
oh, most definitely glad to see them. Logan Mitchell, he's in the car right now for Part-Time Speed, taking over for Michael Johnson. Right now, Logan's shown in the 7th position.
Got the leader making a pit stop right now.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We will take a look at this here as we're going along.
I noticed that I think with Chris Miller sharing that car, that he got out of the car at like the 30-minute mark. That was pretty quick.
Chris stayed in, yeah, a little shorter than what some of the other cars did and all that, but not a big surprise. It's kind of fun watching the strategy and all that. Chris got out at the 40-minute mark, so he's going to definitely have to go back into the car again to get some time in that car. So,
Oh, the five's got an issue. Just spun it.
okay, yes, and Alexander is still staying inside the car yet, so he's going to run another stint here.
Angel Trinidad just had a little off,
Yeah,
but nice recovery, no damage.
as right now Alexander is heading back out on the racetrack again, giving up the lead to Derek Wynn. Derek Wynn just taking the lead right now. So both cars will have to make at least one more pit stop yet. Well, a driver change for Alexander because Chris doesn't have his 45 minutes in. And lap times, it looks like Derek's a little bit quicker right now than Alexander, so that lead could stretch out a little bit. Looks like third place right now is the 333 car.
48 minutes left in the race. Anything can happen.
Oh,
But
most definitely.
the
One off
talent
track,
of this field.
one off track can make a big difference out here. Yes, third place. Yes, Rusty Johnson's up to third place right now, and looks like Austin Ward is not that far behind Rusty at this time. There's within shouting distance of each other. Greg Sampson, he's running fifth right now for Point Break Racing. Close battle with Logan Mitchell. Those guys are maybe 2 or 3 car lengths apart from each other, so great battle going on there between those two gentlemen. Doug Doucette, he's in 8th place right now, so nice recovery for your team, Ed, up to 8th right now.
Yeah, we were going to try to bank those clean driver points, but, I threw that away real quick.
Yeah, well, that happens, but there's next week. We got next week. We can go right back at it again, and that's at Suzuka. And how much time do you got at Suzuka there, Ed?
Oh, Suzuka is one of the least. My Japanese is rusty.
Anything on the schedule that you really like when you looked at the schedule, your race out there that says, man, I can't wait for that?
Honestly, the trucks and the rally cars.
Yeah, the Wednesday
Yeah,
the Wednesday nights. Huh? You had a good time last night with that.
Oh, those races are a blast, dude. I'm so excited when we hop into rally cars.
I wanted to get in there so bad last night, but my wife was coming home from a vacation, so I had to pick her up at the airport, and I was about an hour and a half late from being home in time to get her to be able to race last night. So, but I'll be there next Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. Next Wednesday night, I'm sorry. Tuesday night. How's the Indy series going for you, Ed?
The Indy Series has been a pretty nice learning curve. There's such a big difference between running the oval and running the road courses with them. The
Mm-hmm.
oval, like Kevin was saying, the arrow push, you really have to learn to deal with the distance and dealing with that arrow push because you can just murder your fronts. And that's kind of what I was doing in the race the other night was trying to stay out of the arrow push and watching the cars in front of me just kind of burn their stuff off. And then by about lap 50, I made a run for the lead.
Yep. And I've seen you and getting a little bit of the touch with Chris Miller, I believe, and that ended your race, I believe, didn't it, Tuesday night?
Yeah, I had the horns out for sure. I don't know if Chris heard, but I called out that I was pitting, and Chris threw it up my inside, and I took that as what the f are you doing? And it kind of like it made the first stand up because I made a mistake getting in the pit lane. It just kind of it caught me out, and I locked it up, and I sped going in the pit lane, and then when I came back out, I kind of had the attitude of, well, you know what? I'm going to make it real difficult. I'm not going to touch them, but I'm going to make it real difficult. And unfortunately, it ended the night with some contact.
Yeah, that's a shame to see. Yeah, that car is a lot of fun to race, both on the oval and on the road course. I think it's a fun car to drive on the road course, especially. It's an easy car to drive, even though it's got a shitload of horsepower there. So.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's been doing really well. Just little margin for error. Yeah, you make a mistake, or like you said, you can't race it with an attitude. It didn't
Right.
end well. For either of us, it didn't end well.
Yeah, we're gonna check in here with Rob Shoemaker, see how he's doing. He hopped in the car replacing Kevin Rupert not too long ago here, and they're running in the 8th position right now, and holding
So
their own.
I'm wondering with the race for 5th place right now, whether Greg Samson or Logan Mitchell, I wonder if he's just pacing him. It looks like he's just kind of hanging there and pacing him, not pressuring him right now, but just staying there.
I believe they're just two equally talented guys there that they're both putting down nice laps of the high 330s and all that, and there was a 340 lap for both of those gentlemen there. So
Yeah, you can see the 110 was skating on exit there.
yeah, their track could be getting warm and losing a little bit of grip, but the fuel load should be getting a little less so too, and that should be helping those gentlemen out a little bit more too.
Yeah, with about 4 laps to go, the ass end is definitely getting edgy on the cars on exit.
Okay. Ooh, both of those cars taking it quite right through there. Yeah. Wow.
Monkey see, monkey do. Both those guys had a pucker moment.
Yes, we got about 40 minutes left to go in this race, and we'll take a look at the standings here right now. We got W&R Racing right now in the lead. 36-second lead over second place right now with Alexander in the car. Frank Johnson, he's running third right now, 50 seconds behind the leaders.
Looks like a nice little race for third going on.
Hell of a race going on for third. There's about 0.3 of a second there between Ward's and Rusty Johnson there. Let's go take a look at that real quick here.
And anytime you got one of the Wards in that car, you know it's going to be fast.
Oh, most definitely. Both of those guys are outstanding drivers and all that. So, yeah, good battle there. And looks like Bryant just got done passing Frank here for position. So it looks like Bryant Ward, let's move him up to third place on the leaderboard here. And Frank back to fourth.
Oh, Ward's car looks really good through Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
Like Frank's struggling a little bit with his front through Porsche and through Corvette. It's where Ward's pulling away from him. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this second place car with Alexander and Chris with the driver swaps.
Yeah, they'll have to do one more swap yet. I would think that's probably going to be I would think that Alexander's going to get his 45 in, and then you're going to see him out of the car. I would think any minute you're going to start seeing Alexander bring her in down pit road to have Chris finish up the race. Why wouldn't you have your fastest guy in the car to finish up the race? If so, I'd get him in there pretty darn quick if I was team management right now.
Oh man, I hope they just didn't have a driver timing issue, and 5 minutes is going to hurt them.
Yeah, exactly. You would, but I don't know. I've seen some really different strategy. I've seen Lewis Lockshine actually early in the race, 20 minutes in, came down pit road, put tires and fuel in it in 20-minute run. So that was kind of a surprise to me. No driver change or nothing, just tires and fuel halfway through the fuel stint there. So
I've seen we've got a couple new names too that are really fast in IndyCar. We had Edson that was super fast.
Edson was Edson was awesome. He won the race. Won it on a fuel mileage race, actually, the way it looks and all that. And was a
Angel Trinidad in a number 5 car. I don't recognize his name.
He's brand new. He's brand new to GoRacing Sim as of tonight. So got to
welcome Angel.
Exactly. Good to see you. And we'd love to see some new drivers actually if they're interested in doing these 2-hour endurance races. Come join us. Come sign up at GoRacingSim.com. That's GoRacingSim.com. We entertain anybody at any level of racing and all that. So you're welcome aboard at any time.
That's right. All skill levels are welcome.
Oh, most definitely. And we have a little bit for everyone. We got a little bit now on the dirt side. We got some oval racing. We got some road course racing. So we're trying to expand out and have some fun.
I'm still real surprised you haven't been able to politic your way into a dirt oval series.
Well, I know it wouldn't be very widely used by a lot of the drivers, so I'm okay with it. My main thing is that I'm with my friends, and that's what's important to me, and all that. And I love our league. I love a lot of the guys that I'm racing against and all that, including you, Ed. I've raced against you for how many years now, and we've always raced each other nice and fair and clean, and that's one thing I do enjoy about you, Ed.
Yeah, I think that's really what this sport/hobby is about. It's about being with like-minded individuals. It's 70% your buddies and 30% the racing.
Yeah, and you get the heated moments in competition, and that's what it's like in real life also. But hey, after the race is over, you can sit back and talk about and do a little bench racing and all that, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Woo, you see the 110 and the 13 going at each other right now.
So we got Logan Mitchell starting to put a little bit of pressure here on Chris Hunt. I'm sorry, I don't think it's Greg Sampson, I believe, in that car right now, isn't it? Yes, it is Greg.
I think it's Sampson. Yes, it is. Mitchell is putting pressure with a capital P on him with this lap.
As we'll click over and watch those guys battle away here, and that looks like it's the closest race on the racetrack right now.
I think it is. And these cars are so much at the limit height-wise, man. We're sparking everywhere. Even the center crown of the straights, we're sparking pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. You notice it in the car when you're driving it, or isn't it that noticeable?
Yeah. You could, especially if you got your transducers and stuff, you could feel it. But when you're riding that crown, yeah, you can tell.
Boy, these guys are very evenly matched up, though. I'm not sure if Logan is just sitting back there waiting, or if he's actually doing everything he can to get by him.
That's what I was wondering a couple laps ago, whether he was just sitting back there and keeping his distance and just. But from what I seen at the beginning of this last lap, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, it looks like Greg's got this thing figured out too. I'm sure he has a few laps around this joint and all that. So.
Yeah, and Greg is a very calm and collected driver.
Mm-hmm.
He usually does not get frazzled with somebody in his mirror pretty tight.
Yeah, you've had quite a bit of time with Greg over the years, if I remember correctly, and all that.
Yeah, that whole Point Break crew was in the beginning of the Inglorious Bastards, so we shared a handful of seasons with them, and we still are in tight contact with that group.
What's your intention for the 24 hours of Daytona this year?
Probably get wet.
Yeah.
I hope we got the rain.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, no, the Inglorious Bastards. We still are doing our thing. We're probably going to be doing some recruiting soon though, because we have had our numbers drop off. But the core drivers are still there. And honestly, with the drivers in this group, I think if we combine forces, oh my God, talk about a strong endurance team.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a good battle between these two gentlemen here with Logan Mitchell and Greg Sampson here going at it. And
Oh yeah, that move right there tells you he's not holding back anymore.
yeah, no, he's side by side with him right now, going into the right hand corner here.
And look at nonstop sparking down the center of that road.
Nice pass there by Logan Mitchell.
Very nice.
Oh,
Oh,
Chris
hold
or
it.
Greg Sampson. Wow, that was close, and he ain't onto it.
Greg went to the throttle hard to stay on
Yeah.
his tail. Bit him.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't cook the tires too much where it's going to affect him the next couple corners here.
Looking at our time to go, they're probably in that range where they're pretty light on fuel, and that's when that ass is, like I said, she wants to move around. He's going to have to take a breath and just try to gather it back up and slowly close that gap again.
I'm looking at Rob Shoemaker right now in GoRacing number 2. He's been in the car for only about 4 or 5 laps now and starting to try to get some speed out of it. Just struggled the last lap with a 349, so he must have struggled somewhere in the racetrack where it held him up for quite a bit there. But Rob not having a whole lot of laps on this track that I'm aware of. So
Austin Ward in our third place car, he's making a pit stop right now.
okay, let's slide over to that real quick, and that's Ward Racing. Yes, Austin's coming down pit road.
It's going to let Frank Rusty Johnson go on by for the position.
Pretty sure that Austin's coming in just for tires and fuel right now. The driver change has been made, so.
Frank stayed out, so I bet you he might come to pit probably the next lap because Ward was pulling away from him pretty good.
Yes, definitely a tire situation here for Wards, and they'll also be putting fuel in the car, and they'll be ready to go for the last 30 minutes of this race. We're an hour and a half in, Ed, and we got 30 to go, and right now it looks like Derek Wynn has a huge lead over second place right now. I'm trying to find a time split right now, and timing and scoring is telling me right now that we have a 48-second lead. That can't be right. That's way too much. It is right, though. It is 48-second lead over second place.
And it might change as the pit stop cycle here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cars could safely make it about 35 minutes or so, so they're definitely in the window for their last stops now.
Yeah, I believe Kevin told me he was getting 42, but he's a little bit off the pace, so maybe a 40-minute, fuel run sounds about right. High 30s, low 40s, so.
Yeah, Doug and I just decided that we were going to go by the clock and just do 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Try to split up the driver chores about as equal as you can then that way, Ed?
Yeah, because this is fun and practice for us, so it's not about hogging the seat.
And you've been together with Doug for quite a few years, so you guys understand each other pretty well.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Let's check in on Kurt. I want to check in with Kurt Davidson here. We haven't seen Kurt out here a whole lot. Kurt's coming back to do some racing with us here at GoRacing Sim. Was with us for a little while, and the work at Stewart Haas Racing kind of took him away a little bit. Plus, family dad chores also took him away from doing some iRacing. So glad to see Kurt Davidson back behind the wheel here at GoRacingSim.com.
Yeah, welcome, Kurt. Welcome back. I know he was sharing the car with Shane, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Him and Shane are teaming up, and I will be replacing Shane, I believe, next week. I will be driving for Shane myself, and I'm actually going to be doing some backup driving for both GoRacing 1 and GoRacing number 2 as the season goes on. So, and
Well, yeah.
we also have Mikey Fredrickson joining us also on one of the cars when a couple of our drivers can't make it on the same night. So.
Very nice, very nice. I do like to see the rule that Kevin put in place, where if everything falls apart and it's just you, you can still run the race, but you're gonna get half points.
Half points, yep. That way your team can still compete. And but hey, reach out to another driver, and it's a way of gaining some people in our league too. And go ahead, grab one of these extra guys that you know don't want to be committed to a full season, but they want to maybe spot race. Nothing wrong with it. We got the leader, I believe, in pit road right now. Let's take a look here
Could be that
at
extra driver change we talked about.
at W&R Racing, and Derek Wynn's just heading back out on the racetrack right now, but just fuel and tires right now for Derek. Coming out, I think he hung on to the lead. Let's take a look here. Let's head back to the field a little bit, and Frank Johnson is not too far behind him.
Yeah, he's not too far. They're within the same picture.
Yeah, and then we got another car down pit road right now. I believe that's a 007 car of Alexander. Oh, Chris Miller jumped back in the car now. So Chris Miller back in the car. He'll finish up the race with about 25 minutes to go. So that'll give Chris. Oh, he'll give him his full 60 there. So that's going to be a pretty even split between Chris and Alexander there. So Chris
And
Miller back on
Chris is
racetrack.
he's gonna come out and put the hammer down.
Oh,
So
he's going to burn up the rubber real good here. Yes, we'll have some real fast times coming out of here. But Derek Wynn with a pretty nice lead over Chris right now. But Frank is pretty close. But Frank's going to have to do another pit stop, I believe. Yet, Ed.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think he stopped yet. They've got to be really close to their numbers. I bet you he's coming within the next lap or two. And I tell you, if Chris comes out and he really puts the hammer down, I can see where the split's going to come out between him and Derek, because Derek's last lap was a 3:44.
Yeah, but I believe that was some pit in there too, because Derek was in to change tires and all that. So there would have been a small slowdown there. If we take a look at Derek Wynn's times on the racetrack, he's running 336s, 337s pretty consistently. So he's going to have to really close. He's going to have to run some pretty low 330s in order to catch him. Looks like Derek, if he keeps around the racetrack and keeps going at the rate he's doing, it's going to be very, very difficult for Chris Miller to close that gap. But Ed, you got to look at it this way. Louis Lockshine and Derek Wynn, they did such a good job in the GT3 season and all that, both having some wins and all that, and they're teaming up to make a super team there. And I'm really not surprised to see those guys out ahead on this right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
we do have
all the time.
We do have GoRacing 1 in the pits right now. Kurt Davidson just leaving the pit road right now. He just got tires and fuel right now, and Kurt Davidson back out on the racetrack. And also car 5, that's Angel, I believe. Angel is on pit road right now. That's for W&R Academy. And let's see what happens here with Angel if he's coming in. He's up. Tires are being changed. And looks like Angel is staying. Nope, Angel is getting out of the car, and Tyler Hamlin's getting back in. So
we'll see the. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Driver change here for the number 5 car for W&R Academy and all that. So as we got about 22 minutes left to go in today's race.
Imagine we'll be seeing my team car on pit lane here soon. I don't think he's made a stop yet. Speaking of that, I better bounce back over and see how he's doing.
Well, thank you so much, Ed, for joining me. I greatly appreciate it, and good luck to you the rest of the race and the rest of the season and all that. And looking forward to racing against you Tuesday night and Wednesday night in the old oval and dirt leagues there.
Well, thank you very much for having a league and putting up all these great events. Good luck, drivers.
There you go. That was Ed Adams tonight, helping him out in the commentary booth here in the media center, and driver for the Inglorious Bastards. Thank you, Ed. Tyler Hamlin getting some heat in the tires as he just gets out back onto the racetrack. Always good to have somebody come and visit me up in the media center here as we get going here. As right now, no one's down pit road right now. We'll take a look at our result page here. We got W&R Racing right now with Derek Wynn. He's leading this thing. Second place is Frank Johnson in L1T1. We got Chris Miller back in the 007 car. They're running third, 46 seconds behind the leader. Part-Time Racing, that's Logan Mitchell. He's running fourth right now, so great run for Part-Time Racing starting at the end of the field. He's up to fourth. Ward Racing, we got Austin Ward in that car right now. About a second behind right now on Logan Mitchell. And then the 7 car, that's Greg Sampson. And they're down pit road right now. So let's take a look at that. Greg Sampson in the 7 car. That's teammate Ed Adams, who is just got out of the media center with me here. And Doug's getting tire change right now and some fuel. So he'll drop back a spot or two. And be a good battle coming up here once he gets back on the racetrack, as right now the 13 car just drives right by him. And Doug heading back out onto the racetrack. He might have dropped back to 7th place right now as Greg Sampson just went by. And then Rob Shoemaker, he's running 8th right now. Kurt Davidson, he's running 9th right now. A little bit of a gap between him and Rob. And there's our leader right now, Derek Wynn. After that pit stop with the 4:36 lap. We'll see what he has here. First lap back up to speed after getting tires changed. Finishing up the last couple corners here of this lap. And this lap is a 3:38, so right back to where he was earlier before the pit stop. So nice consistent laps in the high 3:30s and all that. So Derek Wynn just got to keep her clean here the last 20 minutes here, and a little bit of overdriving there, getting her a little loose, but doing a nice job of saving it. Rusty Johnson, he's coming down pit road now, so he's going to be giving up his second position right now. Car's going not up in the air. They're just getting fuel. It's going to be a fuel and go here for Rusty Johnson. He's revving her up. He's getting ready. Right now you're going to see Chris Miller going by. There goes Chris. So Frank will lose second place. He's going back to third. Austin Ward, he's going to be coming by real soon as Rusty gets out pit road here. Back onto the racetrack. And it looks like he's going to hang on to third position right now over Austin Ward. So a nice job by Kerry Cantera the first half of the race in order to get himself a nice run going, and Frank doing a nice job of keeping some lap times up. Let's take a look at some of Rusty's lap times here. He's running a little inconsistent here. A lot of 339s, and then he had a couple Last year he had a little bit of a rough time out there, but Rusty will make a go of it here, and we'll see how he finishes up tonight's race. Austin Ward not too far behind. Austin's running laps of about the same, 338s, 340s, so maybe a little bit quicker than Rusty, but very close in the ballpark. It should be a pretty good battle by the time the end of the race is. We got a car in the pits right now. We got the 110 car right now. Logan Mitchell, he's in pit road right now. He's getting fuel, and he's back on the racetrack. I don't believe any tires was installed on that run there, as Logan Mitchell's heading back out on the racetrack, and right now it looks like it's going to hang on to the 5th position as the car closes in behind him. And I believe that's Greg Sampson right behind him. And it is Greg Sampson. And those two had a heck of a battle earlier before the pit stops and all that. So they're again closing up to be a pretty good battle here between those two guys. Very equal competitors, those two are. Great battle going on. I would say the last 20 minutes or so between those two guys. Doug Doucette running 7th place right now in the number 7 car. Pretty good gap between him and the guys in front, between Logan and Greg. So, and then we got Rob Shoemaker. A little less than that distance that is in front of Doug. Looks like Rob's got a keep her going here real good. His lap times are in the low 340s, so doing pretty good. Doesn't have a whole lot of laps on this track, and it's a tough track to learn. And then we're going to take a look at Kirk Davidson. He's running 9th right now, and he's running the high 330s. A couple little slower laps there. A little inconsistency there for Kurt, but doing a good job. Good to see Kurt back out on the racetrack. And not seeing any real super tight battles out on the racetrack right now. Derek Wynn, our leader right now. He's running 338s, 336s, 337s, so very consistent there. Not slowing down any, that's for sure. And he's driving as hard as he can right now to maintain this lead. Let's take a look at we're at 43 seconds yet, so Chris Miller's closing in the gap. He's closed in 5 seconds in the last few minutes and all that, but hey, time is getting tight here, and Chris is going to need Derek to make a big mistake here in order to capitalize on getting the position there and all that. So Rusty Johnson just over a minute over in 3rd place, a minute off of Derek's time and all that. So looks like we got only one car right now that is a lap down. Other than that, everyone is still on the lead lap. Looking at timing and scoring, looks like we got a heck of a battle here between Logan Mitchell again and the 13 car, Greg Sampson. It looks like Greg Sampson has passed Logan Mitchell for position. Logan came out the pits in front of Greg, and Greg apparently just got by him. So this will be a great battle here as Logan's getting some heat in the tire, so he can start hitting the corners a little harder. Oh, Greg Sampson spinning out right in front of Logan. Logan doing a nice job. Greg back on the racetrack here. Just getting out of the way right now for Doug Doucette. Oh, that's a shame. Greg Sampson losing 2 positions there on a spin coming out of that corner there. Just overdriving a little bit, trying to stay ahead of Logan. And now he's really starting to overdrive, and that's going to be worse yet for Greg, and he's really struggling through those corners here. he's going to have to just take a deep breath and get back into rhythm here again. Teammates with Chris Hunt and all that. Bad break for Greg. Hate to see that happen. Had a great battle going there with Logan Mitchell. Greg hammered on right now. He's going to try to go catch Doug, who's a little bit ahead of him, and then there's Logan. Pretty good, pretty good race that could materialize out of those three guys. They're not that far away from each other, and you look and you see Rob Shoemaker not too awfully far behind either, along with Kurt Davidson. So some good racing going to happen here at the last 12 minutes of this race, a 2-hour endurance race with GoRacingSim.com here at the 24 circuit of Le Mans. So yes, if you're interested in joining us on our Thursday Night Endurance League, please sign up. Contact Kevin Rupert at GoRacingSim.com. That's GoRacingSim.com. And we'll gladly get you signed up and bring a teammate along and go have some fun for a couple hours out here against these great competitors here. As we're watching Logan Mitchell go around corner 15 there. And there's Chris Hunt again. Oh, excuse me, Greg Sampson. Greg Sampson spinning out again. And here comes Rob Shoemaker. Rob's going to go around him. And that's also for position again. As Rob Shoemaker getting around him. That'll move Rob up to 7th spot. And in the background, you'll see Kurt Davidson coming up. Not that far behind both of these guys. So if Kurt can start straining some laps. Kurt's last lap was a 3:39, which was a good lap. But bad break for Greg Sampson. Just pushing the car so hard right now. It's so easy to do once you make a mistake. You keep doing them because you're just starting to make up for that, and you just catch yourself overdriving once in a while. So easy to do. We've all done it. We always will. Let's take a look at that interval between our first and second place, and it's down to 40 seconds. So Chris Miller closing in another 3 more seconds in the last couple minutes, but we're down to less than 10 minutes left to go in today's race. We're going to keep it right here between Chris Hunt and Rob Shoemaker here and see how this goes between those two guys and see if Kurt can close any distance there. Kurt running that 3:39 the last lap, and Shoemaker, oops, I'm messing up here. We're back to live here. Davidson with the 3:39, Shoemaker with the 3:42, so that's a 3-second variance between those two guys the last lap, so maybe Kurt can make a race of this in the last 9 minutes yet. Boy, you can just watch Greg Sampson. He's really driving as hard as he can right now. He's probably cooking them tires a little bit too much, and hope he doesn't overdrive her too much here and ruin his chances and lose another position. Oh, there Shoemaker makes a big mistake, and Sampson gets around him. Bad break there for Rob Shoemaker. Take a look at the rest of the field here, and we only have one car yet a lap down, and that's Angel Trinidad. Excuse me, I believe Tyler Hamlin's back in that car. Let's take a look at Tyler again. Boy, it's hard. This race is hard to leave up. Oh, there goes Greg Sampson. He's into the wall hard this time. That's going to create some damage. And pretty soon Kurt Davidson's going to be right here. But he's got some right front damage. That front end's towed out. I believe that's going to be it for for Greg. Again, decent lap times. He's got some front end damage. You got Kurt Davidson closing in on him right now. Bad break there for Greg. There it goes Kurt around the left side there and drives right by Greg Sampson there. So that'll move Kurt Davidson up a position. Yes, you can see Greg Sampson is struggling trying to make corners, so way too much right front damage. It looks like the right front corner has actually got some toe out. Let's take a look at that right front damage here. And right front suspension, let's take a look, and can't really tell from that view, but let's take a look from the front view, and he's got that tire locked up right now. Whoops, we got the wrong one here. Let's take a look at this front view, and yeah, you can see right now that that front nose cone is not quite the way it's supposed to be and all that, so bad break there for Greg Sampson. He's going to try to finish her out, though. I'm not sure if he's got a meatball or not. We'll find out how that's going there for Greg. 333. We got Rusty Johnson and Austin Ward having a battle right now for third position. Austin Ward closing that gap on Rusty with just over 5 minutes left to go in today's race. This is going to be a good one. This one's for a podium finish. Let's see how this thing plays out here. Let's take a look to see if there's any other close runs going. That looks like to be the closest battle going on right now. Looks like Logan Mitchell is pulling out a little bit further ahead of the Doug Doucette car right now. And there Austin Ward makes that pass against Rusty Johnson there. So that's for position number 3. Rusty not going to give up though, just in case Austin would make a slight little error. That's all it's going to take for him to pass him back. I believe we got one car on pit road right now. It's a 13 car. That's going to be Greg Sampson. He probably just has so much damage. So let's take a look real quick and see what's happening here with Greg Sampson. Teammates with Chris Hunt there. Let's see what happens here. Car is up in the air. They're getting some tires for sure. Car has been shut off. We'll see if a nose cone gets changed out here, or if just too much required damages needs to be fixed before they can come back out. Right now, it looks like Derek Wynn has a 38-second lead over Chris Miller, so Chris definitely is closing the gap, but is going to run out of time with us about 3 minutes left to go in today's race. So that was a mistake. I hit the wrong button. I'm going to have to get out of here. There we go, and we got to get over. We want to follow our leader here, Derek Wynn. His last lap was a 3:38, so he's still turning out some pretty good lap times yet. We got a really good battle right now between Logan Mitchell and Doug Doucette. That's still undecided yet. Looks like Rob Shoemaker has a sizable distance ahead of Kurt Davidson. Greg Sampson still on pit road yet, getting repairs done. Austin Ward stretching out a little bit over Frank Johnson there as we're following along with our leader Derek Gwynn. Logan Mitchell still ahead of Doug Doucette yet. Derek running very consistent 338s. Let's take a look at his lap times. Yeah, look at these 338s he's piling up here. The last 5 laps have been 338s, man. That's consistent. That's tough to pass. That's tough to beat. And so, hand it to Chris Miller. He's giving it all he can to get to him, but he's just going to run out of time tonight. Great strategy run between Lewis Lockshine and Derek Gwynn. As long as Derek keeps around the racetrack here, it looks like they're going to secure a nice win for the very first endurance race here at GoRacing.com here at Le Mans. Greg Sampson still down pit road yet. We're closing in on the 2-hour barrier here, so I did not see the white flag come out at this time. We got Greg Sampson still in the pits. Chris Miller running in second right now. We got Austin Ward in third with a sizable gap over Rusty Johnson right now, who's running fourth. Fifth place goes to Logan Mitchell. He's got himself and we got a spin back there at Doug Doucette. Doug catching up. He's going to be okay. He's going to be able to maintain that position there. He's not going to lose anything other than a little bit of pride. Doug Doucette breaking her loose there. Got her right back on racetrack again. Rob Shoemaker, he's running seventh right now. Eighth is Kurt Davidson and GoRacing 1. And Derek Gwynn again. He's about halfway through this lap here. Closing in on win number 1 of the 2-hour endurance race. So W&R Racing, very, very stout tonight with Lewis Lockshine qualifying the car in second position. Making an early pit stop tonight for tires and gas. Driver switch nearly the halfway point. Derek Gwynn jumping in the car. That car not slowing down any with Derek in the car or Lewis. Very even through there. As you can see, Chris Hunt is just disconnected from today's race. And that's teammates of Greg Sampson there, so bad luck there. As Derek's coming down the lap, down through Arnage and lap corner number 20. No real close battles on the racetrack right now. Derek went through corner 24. Looking nice and smooth through there. Up against the wall. Maybe tapped it just a real little bit if he did. That was close. Still not driving any slower. Had the last lap of 3:39, so he's backing up just a little bit, but very, very little. Couple corners to go here. He's past start finish line. Looks a little loose getting through that chicane, but handles it nicely through there. Right now he has, let's take a look at the interval here. Interval about 35 seconds. So yes, definitely Chris Miller is definitely closing in on him, but man, just gonna run out of time here. Great run for these guys at W&R Racing. Looking at the track map here, and don't see any super close battles. Probably the closest battle on the racetrack right now is between Austin Ward and Rusty Johnson, but that's still a pretty good gap there, and don't see that changing anytime soon. Got Logan Mitchell doing and stretching it out a little bit over Doug Doucette after Doug spun out. Closing in is Kurt Davidson on Rob Shoemaker, but I don't think there's going to be enough time there unless Rob would have another little slip up. As we see Derek win about the halfway point of this lap. Getting through corner 14 and 15 there. Greg Sampson has officially ended today's race on loading her back up on the hauler, heading her back home and getting her ready, prepared for next week's race. So the group at W&R Racing starting to celebrate today's win. It's not quite over yet, but it's pretty much over here as long as Derek keeps her on the racetrack here to last a little bit. A little bit of the tricky part of the racetrack coming up here. A little bit of a brake lock up there, but handles it great. Power is out ahead. Does look like Kirk Davidson is closing in on Rob Shoemaker there just a little bit. Yeah, that could be a pretty good finish yet at the end for position. There you see Derek win right now. A couple corners left to go of this lap. Still looking quite strong. And there is Derek Wynn right now. And we'll go back to second place. Chris Miller right now. Take a look at that. We got a gap right now. of 31 seconds. So yeah, Chris really closing down the laps. And down to 3:36 here. Let's see what kind of lap times Chris was running towards the end. He was running a lot of 3:36s, where Derek was in the 3:38 range. So just great run. Just not quite enough at the end to pull it off the way it looks. But he didn't give up. He gave her everything he had. Looks like Austin Ward, he's pretty much got third place wrapped up today. Frank Johnson's going to come home fourth. There's Frank crossing the start and finish line. Logan Mitchell, solid in fifth. He's got a couple corners to go yet. Teamed up with Michael Johnson. They had a good run, started from the back of the field, worked themselves up to a fifth place finish. Sixth place is going to be Doug Doucette and Ed Adams. Nice run for those guys. First lap carnage for Ed. He spun himself out. Nice recovery coming home. P6. Oh, Davidson and Davidson and Shoemaker battling there, and Davidson overcooking the corner. And Shoemaker getting by him again. That was for position 8 and 9 there. 7 and 8, 7 and 8. Davidson still driving hard. We still got a little bit of corners here yet, so this is still for position yet. This is going to be a good one yet, guys. Davidson right on his rear wing. Shoemaker trying to hold his line. Looks like Shoemaker's blinking a little bit here. That might be hurting a little bit on for Davidson. Oh, Shoemaker and Davidson both struggling through those corners. They're driving hard. Looks like, oh man, how close was that? Results, let's see who won. It was GoRacing won, so unbelievable finish there where Davidson just happened to pass.
We ran out of gas.
Oh, what a shame. Shoemaker running out of gas the last little bit there, and Davidson passing him there. How unlucky. So 7th place will go to...
Yeah, that was my fault.
7th place will be going to Kurt Davidson and GoRacing 1. 8th place will go to Rob Shoemaker and GoRacing 2. Wow. 9th place will go to the 5 car. WNR Academy, and that's with Tyler Hamlin and Angel. So, and Greg Sampson will bring up our rear tonight. So, great race tonight. With Derek Wynn and Lewis Lockshine taking the win. Second place is Alex Betras and Chris Miller in 10 Tenths Motorsports. Third place goes to the Ward Racing of Austin and Bryant Ward. Fourth place goes to Kerry Cantera and Rusty Johnson. L1 T1 Racing. Rounding out your top 5 goes to Logan Mitchell and Michael Johnson, finishing in 5th place for part-time speed. So thanks for joining us tonight. Please come back and join us another time. We'll do another broadcast on the races that I do not race in. But thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Ken Schulz. This is GoRacingSim.com. Endurance race number 1. Our winner again tonight, Derek Wynn. Louis Lockshine, WNR Racing. Good night, everyone.